like what you're listening to, make sure you give us a follow on Twitter at PWProverbs, where we will have news and insight from ourselves, other wrestling podcast hosts, the superstars themselves, as well as the behind-the-scenes crew and authority figures. We will also have polls that we'll be putting up weekly or semi-weekly, just to get a response, a gauge from you fans. You want to give a listen, but only really about the pay-per-views from WWE or the bigger pay-per-views and events from NXT, Ring of Honor, maybe some Impact, maybe some New Japan. And then make sure you follow our SoundCloud at SoundCloud/ProWrestlingProverbs. Any questions or any polls that you would like put on our Twitter, then make sure you email us at Gmail at ProWrestlingProverbs@gmail.com. I'm Logan Keys here with Anthony for the first and WrestleMania edition of the Marks Mailbag. Just gotta reach into our handy PWP Mark mailbag here. Pull out the first. Alright, it is from Brian.
Listener Brian.
Alright, thanks for writing in, Brian. Thanks for being the first on the Mark's Mailbag WrestleMania edition. And the question is, who is going to be Braun Strowman's tag team partner? A good question indeed.
Brian,
this has
listen.
been the question for about a month now?
Yes. Well, sure, a month. I don't know exactly when, but it's been a long time. It's been probably the biggest mystery heading into WrestleMania.
Yep.
But listener Brian, you could have asked this question about 2 days ago. Give us a little bit more time to answer. We're coming up close. The heels of WrestleMania. I gotta make a special video just for you, listener Brian.
All right, and we have a list of 10 potential partners or even non-partners that Braun could have, and give a little reasoning why. All right, so the first I have here is because of his backstage appearance at this past Monday's Monday Night Raw, as well as the fact that he is a cowboy, and Braun Strowman has been posting about guns in America and the South. Plus, this superstar is a multiple-time tag team champion for TNA and Impact Wrestling. This is the cowboy James Storm. How would you feel about a James Storm and Braun Strowman pairing?
I'm not a big, I'll be honest, not a big James Storm fan. But it'd be different. I'd enjoy it because it's unexpected. Everyone's expecting, as later people on our list, people like Big Show, Bobby Lashley, Bray Wyatt. So a James Storm would be surprising, especially on the stages like WrestleMania. And as you say, you are correct. I pulled up Braun Strowman's Instagram here.
Yeah.
A lot of guns.
Yeah, Braun Strowman says that this is because it's just showing who he is, but it's kind of been more emphasized lately. The more southern roots, and I don't want them to make Braun Strowman a cowboy, but as I said, it would make sense for them to be like a southern type of gimmick. Who knows where that would go, though. James Storm, also interesting to note, got his big break because of JEFF, JARRET, Jeff Jarrett, new Hall of Fame inductee. So to see James Storm come over, I mean, maybe he has a brief run with Braun, but what I would like to see James Storm in the company for is eventually a beer money return. But
yeah.
That is to be seen. The second potential tag team partner, Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman is a monster among men, so maybe his partner would be the biggest little man. We saw him return at the Royal Rumble. This would be Rey Mysterio.
This is probably my favorite option for Braun Strowman's tag team partner. Rey Mysterio, he is a living legend in the wrestling business.
Yep.
Future Hall of Famer.
Yep.
The sorts.
You can say he kills it in the ring. He's a great performer. The 619, the West Coast Pop. Your acting might have said something of hilarity here. But Rey Mysterio, he does indeed kill it in the ring. A former Intercontinental Champion, multiple World Heavyweight and WWE Champion, Royal Rumble winner. It's being said, though, that if Rey Mysterio is his partner, do not expect them to win the titles. It would be a one-off thing. As I've mentioned on Independent Impulse, Rey Mysterio is going to work at least 3 independent shows. So that way he can face Will Ospreay, Jushin Thunder Liger, and eventually Marty Scurll. But as you can see soon, Rey Mysterio is in phenomenal shape. He is not allegedly roided out as he was before. He's just in good shape. And it would be interesting. This pairing, I mean, does it ever work out when they put Rey Mysterio with a big man? No, they usually end up beating him down.
Yeah.
So, but it would be a nice change of pace. Speaking of big men, though, this next potential partner of Braun Strowman appeared at the Hall of Fame earlier, before we recorded these podcasts. He is, of course, a former tag team champion with Undertaker, Chris Jericho, Sting, and Scott Hall in WCW, as well as winning tag team championships with Kane. This man, of course, being someone who has been off TV lately because of what Braun did to him, of course, being the Big Show. And I enjoy big men tag teams because big men really can't do much in terms of wrestling. Nothing against them. It's just you're not going to see them drop someone with, headlock or crossface chicken wing. They are just big men. That's, as Mark Henry says, that is what they do. How do you feel about a Braun and Big Show tag team partner? Or tag team exchange, I guess.
This would probably be my least favorite option.
Even though it's the most likely?
Even though it's most likely, because I feel like it's too predictable, because they're not going to win. Big Show's a partner, and then Big Show's probably just going to turn on them for revenge for taking them out earlier. Yeah. Then we're going to get another Braun Strowman Big Show feud, which ends in a ring collapse.
Maybe he slams him through Hell in a Cell, and then the ring collapses.
Oh, you just got up the ante every time.
Every time. Make Shane McMahon look like a little bitch.
Oh, Shane McMahon is a little bitch, let's be honest here.
Partner 4 on this list. Not very many people have talked about him, but it has been mentioned that he will need something to do when he comes back. Now just imagine a tag team where the nicknames of the men are the Monster Among Men and the Destroyer. Braun Strowman and Samoa Joe. Picture that, if you will.
If you will.
Yeah, if you will, Daddy. Picture the magnitude of Braun Strowman and Samoa Joe. Tag team titles that only Dusty Rhodes can consume, Daddy. But just these two. Samoa Joe needs something to do when he comes back.
Yeah.
He was kind of involved with Sheamus, Cesaro, and Braun before he went out. Attempting to take the Shield out. But then he got the foot injury, which proved to be even worse than it was once originally predicted. So I think this would be a good combo. I would like to see them win the tag titles, but not for too long. Maybe give the Bar a 5th win, a 5th title. Win them back the next night on Raw, something along those lines. But it would be nice to see Samoa Joe. I mean, Samoa Joe does have they wouldn't talk about this on screen, but he does enjoy monsters. He does enjoy Kaiju, Godzilla, King Kong, and such.
Yes,
so
yes.
It would be a little nod to fans with the Monster Lover being with the Monster Among Men.
I think it'd also be a good momentum boost for Samoa Joe. Outside of his matches with Brock, I think his time so far on the main roster has felt kind of flat because of his potential. That's not credit or disrespect to Samoa Joe as a performer. He is a great performer. And he has a high A lot of potential, high ceiling in this
He
business.
just had a lot of nagging injuries. Nothing too serious, just a lot of little nagging ones that keep him out when the large opportunity arises.
Is it him bursting onto the scene, taking out Seth Rollins? I thought he would have a bigger part.
Yeah.
A big part in the WrestleMania match, since it was unsanctioned, those qualify. I thought there'd be a little bit more run-ins involving Samoa Joe and others, but that could be a future DIY you could do.
Yeah.
But I think this would be giving him a tag team championship with Braun, or at least setting up a high-profile feud with Braun.
Winning the titles, dropping on the next night, one of them blaming it on the other, and then moving forward with it potentially into a number one contendership match for presumably Roman Reigns' heavyweight title.
Yes.
The next man is another one. There's been some rumblings, but my idea of it is Braun Strowman, the big Southern wrestler. He talked about catching these hands. So why not get a big Northern wrestler from New York, perhaps? And instead of hands, it's feet. This man would be the returning Big Cass. Braun and Cass. Big Cass, of course, a tag team wrestler. He used to be with Enzo Amore before the allegations came up. There was rumors that when Enzo was the heel character, Big Cass was just going to come back and be like a bodyguard for him. Now you have to have something for the big man. Him and Carmella are broke up. You can't just put them together.
Yeah.
Enzo's not even in WWE lore anymore. I think this would be a quick fix for the both of them. And you'd have a good team of big, young wrestlers that teams would have to contend with.
They could be a very dominant tag team, especially since with Enzo gone. Is Enzo still there? That's just a good way to propel Cass back into the scene after his injury.
Yeah.
But now with him gone, you can't put him with Carmella because obviously relationship problems. It'd be interesting to see what they do with him. If they try to keep like the Enzo gimmick or the SAWFT soft thing.
You kind of have to work around that now.
Yeah, he has to be completely repackaged. So, which would make it interesting, and I would like this pick, is because they would be forced to do something, to be forced to change and force Big Cass's character into something different to work alongside Braun Strowman.
I'm just hoping he doesn't become a New York Giant. If you catch my drift.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this would be an interesting feud for sure, and it would be reminiscent of the Twin Towers in WCW, the Skyscrapers in WCW. They were of course tag teams that were either Dan Spivey and Sid Vicious, or Dan Spivey and Mark Callis, who of course is the Undertaker. Just big young men who will beat ass. That's essentially the gimmick. That is their gimmick. Man number 6 has been talked about for as long as this gimmick, this idea of Braun needing a partner, has been around. This, of course, being the former ECW champion and former United States champion. The man who helped shave Vince McMahon's head by being Donald Trump's participant in WrestleMania 23, Bobby Lashley. This, again, Bobby Lashley, known in TNA as the Destroyer. He'd have to change it because that's Joe's thing. But still, again, the Destroyer and the Monster Among Men, it writes itself. This is one of those pairings, though, where I just don't see them pulling the titles for very long. And one of them turning on the other and then setting up for Bobby and Braun, which, in that case, I'm sure Braun would lose because they're going to bring Bobby in to be the next Brock.
Yeah.
But, a loss like that's not going to hurt Braun. That's why when people complain about Brock beating Braun, oh, it's going to hurt him. No, not really. It's Brock Lesnar. Or Roman beating him. It's Roman. He's not just losing to anyone. Those are the only times he's taken a pin is to those two. That's pretty good. But Bobby and Braun, Bobby Lashley has to come in at some point. It doesn't seem he's going to be on NXT. I would put him on NXT.
Well, obviously, yeah, he wouldn't be on NXT.
No, the reason people, why is EC3 and Drew McIntyre going to be in NXT? Well, the difference is Bobby Lashley's wrestled that WWE style. Sure, McIntyre did, but it wasn't his best work.
But
sure, Ethan Carter did, wasn't his best work. Bobby Lashley knows how to do the main event WWE style, which is what they're trying to pound into EC3 McIntyre's head. Hopefully it's worked, as it seems Galloway's going to come up at one point soon.
EC3 will be up in the next year or two.
Yeah, but Bobby doesn't need NXT. I would be surprised if he went to NXT. If he went to NXT, that'd be an immediate heat of the title. Wherever he goes, championships are going to follow.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to see... If you headlined a WrestleMania, I don't think you're going to NXT.
Yeah.
But you need to write Bobby in somewhere, somehow. Right. This is an easy way in for him.
You just don't have him. You just don't have him on a Raw or a SmackDown. And as you said, he not only headlined. I think the biggest thing about it is not that he headlined a Mania, but he had a match with Vince.
Yeah.
And that obviously means they believe you work well enough to work with Vinnie Mac, so you don't need to go to Triple H's little playground.
So I believe Bobby Lashley is either going to be the partner here, or he'll be debuting the next night on Raw challenging Roman for the title.
Yeah, on Raw challenging Roman, or even on SmackDown. I could see him going after the United States title.
Again?
Yep, just because that's a title that's closely associated with him since the ECW one is no more. But it'll be interesting to see the way that it goes. The next person that I will say isn't even a person at all. There's been talk that Braun's not going to find a partner. And he's just going to go, he's going to beat the bar, have the titles, and then one of two things will happen. He'll have the titles, and Kurt's hand will be forced, or whoever replaces Kurt, because I believe people won't be with... Kurt won't be the GM after Mania. It makes no sense. But... So then whoever the new GM is will be like, yep, that's fine. You don't need a partner. Could be Jeff Jarrett. Doing what he did with Matt Morgan. Or Braun will have the titles, and then he'll have to forfeit them, but he'll be the first ever person to win the titles by himself. So even having to lose the titles the next night, dropping them won't really mean much. If that makes sense. Then the next participant in this Braun Strowman tournament of partners is Bray Wyatt, as we said before on our Raw and SmackDown recap. Braun and Bray posted Braun posted a picture of himself and Bray Wyatt. And he said, the boys are back in town. Which, to the unsuspecting eye means nothing, but Bray has been put into the lake of reincarnation by Matt Hardy. So, who's to say he doesn't become the old Swamp Bray, or even a Rotunda, and then Braun Strowman just picks him as his partner. They've teamed together before. They were kind of the main event group of the Wyatts. Harper and Rowan were the mid-card group. Bray and Braun were the ones that if they teamed up, they didn't lose. So maybe they'll stick with that. And it's just a question of what they do with Bray during this Matt Hardy feud.
Yeah, this is where I feel like even though it makes sense logically, I don't think they will go through with it just because it doesn't make sense for Bray Wyatt's character right now.
Yeah.
I think he has unfinished business with Matt, but it's an interesting idea to ponder. Bray Wyatt coming back as a different character, or an older version of his characters to team up with Braun. It would be a surprise, for sure. And, Vince likes those surprises happening at Mania.
One thing I saw online, which if it does, I will bash my head into your wall.
Don't do that.
Is
please don't
somehow,
do that.
And this, I don't know how it happened, Bray would come out of the Lake of Reincarnation fine, but throw Braun into it. So that way Braun goes back to the Wyatt family Braun. And then you have Bray and Braun again. And at that point, to the person's credit, that's a good way to go about it. As much as I don't want it to happen, it makes sense. But if that's the case, and he now has this Lake of Reincarnation, why not take Harper and Rowan, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, throw them all in there until you get back to Wyatt family, and then he'll have this superpower group. It makes, the logic in it, like I said, I would hope Bray would be the character change, but if Braun's the character change, especially since I like this character so much, you'll have a nice Logan-shaped hole in your wall.
Make a little mini fridge out of it.
The next potential partner, Braun and him, and I have a reasoning for this. Braun dealt out punishment to this man, dropping pianos, dropping other instruments. So I think the reasoning that Braun would pick him is because he earned Braun's respect. He came back week after week, even though he tried running away a couple times, but he keeps coming back week after week. And this man is none other than the Drifter, Elias. Braun Strowman's two hands will walk with Elias. And then what makes even more sense is Elias keeps foreshadowing his biggest event will take place at Wrestlemania. His biggest concert.
Biggest performance.
Yeah. So it makes sense, since Braun Strowman is so big, and the tag titles on Raw especially are pretty important at this point, to do that. I mean, Braun and Elias, a lot of people jokingly call this a team of Andre the Giant and Macho Man, since Elias looks like late 90s Macho Man and Braun's about as big and scary as Andre was.
Yeah.
How do you feel about a teaming of Elias and Braun?
I would enjoy it, especially because it'd get Elias on to the card. What's the match? I don't know if he's confirmed in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal or not.
I did not list him in it because I believe he will either team with Braun or do some sort of concert where, Double J. I just thought of another reason where John Cena could come out. Double J could be out there for music, and then John Cena could come out for rapping.
Oh well. Yeah.
I think Elias will be there, especially since New Orleans is known for its music. It's Mardi Gras, it's partying. So Elias will be there. He's already performed on Bourbon Street.
Yes, that was going around Instagram and Twitter.
Yep.
This past couple of days.
Yeah, he's living the life. So it'll be interesting to see if he lives it even more by becoming Raw Tag Team Champion with Braun Strowman. Now, this final person I have really hasn't been mentioned as a partner for Braun. He is in the NXT North American 6-man ladder match. And as you'll see here, he is teamed up in this picture with Finn Balor as well as Braun Strowman down in NXT when Braun was briefly there. He had, 2 matches, they said?
Yeah.
But I think this match works because Braun Strowman's promos have been about these hands. And from photos on Instagram and Twitter, this man has some massive hands. This man being Lars Sullivan. And I mean, how would you feel walking into a match and having to face Braun Strowman, who's much bigger now than in this picture, muscle-wise?
Yeah.
Obviously, he's not going to grow. He's not going to sprout. And Lars Sullivan here. How would you feel walking in? I mean, even with it being scripted, performed, how would you feel about Braun and Lars?
I'd shit my pants.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the names kind of, just say Braun and Lars, Strowman and Sullivan. It sounds like a McMahon-esque tag.
This is a great tag team. We might have to add it to my 2K18 universe mode.
Okay. It's one, like I said, talking about getting these hands, and that's Lars Sullivan's big gimmick. I mean, he really doesn't have one, but he's got such massive...
He's got those Andre hands.
Yeah, for real. You put those hands on Braun, and Braun's a real giant with giantism. I mean, yeah, this team would be just... And then, especially since NXT needs to make room for your Dynamite Dijaks, your War Machines, your Leo Rushes to do a little more, your women that are showing up in the recently announced second Mae Young Classic, Lars Sullivan coming up to the main roster, being with Braun, and just being a team of monsters, be great. And then plus, what's a better breakthrough feud for a big man than Braun Strowman? Make Braun Strowman the new Big Show or Kane, where when a big man comes up, he has to fight him, and he might not always win. Because if you remember, before recently, not every big man would beat Kane or Big Show when they first feuded with him. Luke Gallows, Snitsky, the Great Khali, they all suffered defeats at Big Show, Kane, and Undertaker. So maybe Braun becomes the new one. But I think Braun and Lars, although unlikely because it's the only one of these that hasn't been rumored on the internet, would be my favorite.
Yeah, definitely.
The gimmick, I mean, catch these hands. Picture a shirt. Catch these hands, and one of them is Braun's fist from the original shirt of Catch These Hands, and the other is just like Lars's hands spread out like Andre's used to be. I don't know. It writes itself. It makes perfect sense. I love it. But as we said, are we agreeing the Big Show, Bray Wyatt, and Elias are most likely?
Yeah, probably the favorites.
Yep.
Big Show definitely the most likely.
Yep. And then if they don't win the match, if the bar retains, Lashley and Mysterio are your more likely.
Yeah, I think Lashley's the dark horse here.
Yeah.
I think he will be there in New Orleans.
Yeah. And as we said, Mysterio, they're trying to sign him for later in the year, but as I said on a previous Independent Impulse, he still has Marty Scurll, who took off his mask at a recent New Japan show.
Yeah.
Jushin Liger, who he didn't get to fight because of his bicep injury. And Will Ospreay, who is the junior champion. So Mysterio still has some battles in New Japan. Plus, you could see him in Chris Jericho. It's happened in Mexico. It's happened in America. It's happened in Canada. Get one more country on the list. Have it beat in Japan. But if you want to follow any other rumors regarding WrestleMania, WWE, NXT, Impact, Lucha Underground, New Japan, Evolve, Progress, Mexican wrestling, any wrestling really, the WWN. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at PWProverbs. Give us a like, give us a retweet on the old Twitter machine. We'll be posting polls just to, as we said, to gather insight from the fans. Maybe a poll like, will Keith Lee, former WWN champion, was supposed to appear at Access, now has lost the title. Will he be in the crowd at NXT TakeOver? If you want to listen to our show, but you don't want to hear our news and rumors, you just want to get right to the meat of it, the pay-per-views, whether that be WrestleMania, Supercard of Honor, maybe even Bound for Glory, if we have enough Impact fans out there. Make sure to follow our SoundCloud at SoundCloud/ProWrestlingProverbs. And if you want to be featured on our Mark's Mailbag, as Brian was today, thank you again, Brian. Make sure you send a question or even a poll. We could even talk about a poll on here, just kind of set it up for Twitter, kind of put a backstory behind it, give it a little feud before the pay-per-view. Make sure you email us at ProWrestlingProverbs@gmail.com. And, of course, I'm Logan Keith, being joined here by Anthony on the first and the WrestleMania edition of Mark's Mailbag.